This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, Citadel Securities reporting that their profits are up 70% in the first quarter of 2025. And I'm going to tell you guys something. It is complete nonsense, okay? It is complete nonsense, in my opinion. I'm not telling you to use Citadel or not use Citadel. I'm just telling you that I believe it's complete nonsense. They're claiming that they made like $1.7 billion. I mean, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Citadel is in trouble. They can claim all these profits. They own mainstream media, so the mainstream media is going to put out these articles to sway investors who don't really know what Citadel really does, who don't really understand how this market works. But Citadel is losing money every single quarter. They can claim they're making money as much as they want, but all they're doing is selling shares that don't exist, selling shares that are not there. I mean, how profitable could you be if you could sell $100 billion of shares that you don't own and then hope the price crashes in the future, or just keep kicking the can down the road by creating more counterfeit shares? In my opinion, Citadel's profitable business model is to sell shares that don't exist, put them as shares sold not yet purchased, and being they know that we watch that, they just figured out a creative accounting way to hide the shares sold not yet purchased in swaps and all kind of other derivatives of financial vehicles to hide that they're actually losing money. The reason Citadel can claim this big $1.7 billion profit is because Citadel does not count shares sold not yet purchased as debt. They sell these shares that they don't own, that they don't have, and they call it profit. In any other industry, it would be debt. But because of their creative accounting, Citadel can claim its profit. If Citadel was making so much profit, would they need to sell bonds? Would they need to take out loans to pay investors? Would they be selling a part of the company? They would not be doing that. Citadel actions tells you what's really going on. Okay? Citadel actions tell you that Citadel is hanging on by their fingernails. They own mainstream media. They own them. They've owned them for years. They have all their inside men on these platforms, on these news article companies, and they're going to write what Citadel tells them to write. But is Citadel really making profits? They're not really making profits. The majority of their business is selling shares they don't own and taking a profit from that. Okay? And that is why they want to hide the CAT system. That's why they don't want the CAT system doing what it does, because the CAT system exposes all the fraud and corruption. The CAT system exposes all the shares sold not yet purchased. The CAT system shows that Citadel is selling 10 and 20 times the float of companies. Okay? So how are you making money when you're selling 10x or 20x the float of a company, shares that don't exist, will never exist, but you keep selling them because the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI turned a blind eye to the fraud and corruption in the market. And a majority of these market makers, of these big dogs, their profits are coming from front running against retail. And on top of that, they're selling shares they don't even own and they will never own, because they're allowed to keep creating these counterfeit shares and then kick the can down the road, kick the can down the road, kick the can down the road for years. And the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI sit on the sidelines and practice willful blindness to the obvious fraud and corruption. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. If you could sell $100 billion in shares sold, not yet purchased, would you be able to claim you made $1.7 billion in profit? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.